Speaking of goodies, Ancient Crunch is a snack company that puts a modern twist on heritage ingredients. The company just launched two new flavors of their yummy tortilla chips, MASA Hatch Chili and Vandy French Onion, available nationwide now. We're going to talk about their new partnership too. Joining us today is Stephen Rofrano, co-founder and CEO of Ancient Crunch. We say good morning and happy holidays to you, Stephen.
Good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
You bet. Good to have you on. And Ancient Crunch has been around for a couple of years now. How did you develop the product and talk about the effort that it took also to promote it nationwide? That is a big deal. Now you have a new distribution through Sprouts Markets. You have to have a good product for that to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was quite the story. Long story short, though, I made it in my parents' backyard on Easter in 2022 because I had this argument with my friend who kept eating, normal store-bought tortilla chips, and I was telling him about how bad the ingredients were and how bad the oils were in them, and ultimately he was like, "You know what? Well, tell me what I'm supposed to eat instead." And so I started describing that you should have a tortilla chip with organic corn cooked in grass-fed beef tallow. He asked me where he could get it, and I told him nowhere. So I was left to go make it myself. And yeah, in Easter 2022, I got a turkey fryer, boxed tortillas, and some grass-fed tallow, and made the first prototype in my parents' backyard. These tasted so good, and they were so healthy that it's sort of the best of both worlds, right? We have the health foods that people think don't taste very good. We have the junk foods that people love, but they're not very good for you. And so to have both taste and health in one experience is pretty revolutionary. And so we started selling them, and it all took off from there.
I love it. I love it. And what's I've said for years that as long as say, and I know, I mean, in this case, you're using beef tallow, so it's not vegan, obviously. You can call it
Of course.
vegetarian. It's not vegan. But I've always said, like for my friends who are vegan or vegetarian, I always said if you produced food products that are vegan and vegetarian that were as good as non-vegan or vegetarian, I would become a vegan or vegetarian. It's because
Sure.
I'm not necessarily for the morals of it, but if it was good, I would buy it. And sure enough, there are a lot of products now, a lot of products that are, I would say, superior to their traditional counterparts. Your product I've tried is superior. No question, superior. You can taste the difference. There is no
Mhm.
question. How hard is it though for you to source all your good organic corn and beef tallow? And for those that don't realize, beef tallow is better for you. Years ago, we thought we had to get away from it. It's actually a healthier fat for us, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So interesting about vegetarian foods, say like 100 years ago, there weren't really any vegetarian foods because almost every food was cooked with some kind of animal fat, whether it was butter or lard, which is bacon grease, or beef tallow, which is beef fat. And then starting in the mid-century, a whole bunch of junk science that we later found out was paid for by industry came out and said, those are bad for you, eat vegetable oils. And that was the gospel in public health for about 70 years until relatively recently people realized, hey, this science that we founded that all these ideas are based off of isn't actually that correct. We should go back to eating traditional animal fats the way our great great grandparents would have had it. And that is what people are realizing now. On sourcing those ingredients, because it's such a rare thing these days. I mean, McDonald's used to use beef tallow for their French fries, but they stopped in the 90s. A whole bunch of other restaurants did a similar thing. So the supply chain for it really dried up, if you will. So finding tallow is a challenge. Fortunately, we have two pretty good partners today that can supply large amounts of it, which is fantastic. Other than us, the biggest consumer of beef tallow are people that turn it into biodiesel, just like they turn all fats into biodiesel. So like used cooking oil at restaurants goes to biodiesel. If they have spare tallow that no one knows what to do with, biodiesel. But it's such a waste because it's such a healthy, nutritious fat. And so we've had luck sourcing that, fortunately. And then on the manufacturing side, that's been very challenging. We make everything ourselves in New Jersey, in Hackettstown, actually in Warren County. So building that from the ground up was quite the challenge. The reason for that, of course, being that the industry, all the factories that would make a chip, that do make chips, are not tooled up to use beef tallow. So we had to do it ourselves from scratch.
Good for you, though. And just for the record, for people that don't realize, they say, well, that's a saturated fat. But believe it or not, and you can check this out, things like egg yolks, beef tallow, it's like the divine when creating these things. There are peptides and enzymes in beef tallow that allow your body to properly break it down. That's the amazing thing.
Mhm.
So it's almost as if we were intended to eat it all from the start. It's
Almost.
the way we evolved as humans, right? Whereas the oils that are artificially produced from plant seeds and whatnot, they're awful for you for the most part, just awful. And God knows what kind of cancers or whatever. I mean, I don't have scientific evidence about the cancer part. There are a lot of people who swear that that is a problem. And so try to avoid those processed oils for anything. Just avoid them. By the way, you can make your own beef tallow if you have scraps of meat. Put it in some water, boil it off, and then chill it in the fridge. And you could scrape off the nice, clean beef tallow if you want to do it yourself, right? But that's because it's
Yep.
precious. You really want that. So talk about how you came up with your new flavors. Now, I love this. The hatch chili is delicious, and the
Mhm.
onion. Talk about that.
So yeah, we launched in Sprouts in October of this 2025. And Sprouts is based in the Southwest, and they wanted an exclusive flavor that represented something special for them and their customers. And so the Hatch Valley of New Mexico is a very popular place to grow chilies. And every year there's conventions and contests of like who has the best chili made with the chilies that grow in this valley. And so that was a natural overlap for them. We could take our approach to designing flavors, which is only clean, natural spices, no maltodextrin or artificial flavors or even natural flavors or additives. It's literally just the spices. And so we took our approach and that overlapped well with their cultural background from the Southwest. So that was the inspiration for the Hatch chili flavor. And the other one that we have with them is French onion, and that's potato chips. We make potato chips too. And French onion is our take on the sort of the standard sour cream and onion potato chip. Of course, if you look at any sour cream and onion potato chip package, the flavor ingredients are abysmal. And it's so unfortunate because it's a delicious flavor, very savory, very rich. And it's a very strong heritage American flavor. There's a little story behind why sour cream and onion chips are so popular. After World War II, the freeze drying technology that was used to create all the shelf stable foods for the troops, they started to apply that to consumer food. And that's how you got this whole powdered soup thing. So powdered French onion soup was popular in the post-war because the troops were like, they wanted to remind themselves of back in the trenches. So they brought it back with them. Same thing with instant coffee. That was another post-war popular item. And someone just decided, hey, we'll just put the powdered soup instead of making soup out of it. Let's just put it in sour cream. And then they did, and it was delicious. Started dipping potato chips in it, and then I think Lay's, the big potato chip company, got wind of it and said, "You know what? We'll give you the sour cream and onion without the sour cream. We'll just put it in the chip itself." And thus was born the classic sour cream and onion potato chip. So
But
our
of
version of
course, they
that,
did it. They did it in an artificial manner. We're down to 30 seconds. That's why I'm cutting it. They did it with an
pleasure.
artificial manner so to last on a shelf for a year. Yours is shelf stable, but for a very short amount, which is why yours tastes better.
Yes.
What's a website for more information?
MASA chips, MASACHIPS.com for the tortilla chips, and Vandy crisps, VANDYCRISPS.com for the potato chips.
Stephen Rofrano, buy his product. It's delicious. CEO of Ancient Crunch, now available nationwide at Sprouts Markets. Congratulations on that. Thank you for coming on this morning and happy holidays.
Thanks, Ken. You too.
Have a good day, everybody.